Good day, everyone.
I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things.
This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed.
This is the bottom line.
I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with we the people. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them.
I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes.
We are the people.
Gary Carter claims his co-worker still owes him after he bailed on a bachelor party trip because of his controlling wife. Cynthia and Luis Rodriguez say it's Mr. Carter's fault for changing destinations at the last minute.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Lauren Lake now presiding.
Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. This is the case of Carter versus Rodriguez. Mr. Carter, you are suing Mr. Rodriguez for $1,500. You say he skipped out on his portion of a bachelor party trip. Is that correct?
This is correct, Your Honor.
Explain to the court what happened.
So basically what happened here, my friend from work for 5 years, we've known each other for quite a long time, so we have a trust with each other. I planned a trip for our friend Pete's bachelor party. Everybody was in agreement to go. He never sent me the money. He bailed out at the last moment, and he never sent the money to cover his parts of the expenses. The only communication I'm getting out of their whole household is a cease and desist letter. Because I went on
How did it get to a cease and desist letter?
That's what I'm saying.
Over a bachelor party trip?
No, the cease and desist letter is not over the bachelor party trip. The cease and desist letter is because I went onto a podcast speaking about a love guru, female ladies coach.
Relationship expert.
Oh,
I sent the cease and desist letter because he was slandering my name on a podcast, which he
I never said her name on the podcast, Your Honor.
Okay, but everybody knows while listening to this podcast, they both work together, and I'm the only one who's married to this man. And basically, I'm the only one on that podcast that's a relationship expert. So yes, he's putting my business and my family at risk by speaking about me.
Okay, so take me back to the bachelor party. You all are friends. You work together? Is
Yes,
that
we
the
do.
testimony?
Yes.
How long
I'm
have you
not his
known each
friend.
other?
We've been knowing each other for over 5 years. Just about over 5. Yeah, we'll never be friends. I'm not seeking to be friends with you.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Can you not disrespect my wife,
But first of all,
please?
you need to have your wife not disrespect you as a man. You shouldn't even have on pants.
Disrespect?
She
All right,
should have on
let's
your
get
pants,
some
and you should have on her cardigan.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order. So you've known Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez for how many years?
I've known Mr. Rodriguez for 5 years. They only got married a few years ago. And ever since they got married, he's changed. He's like a different person. She's like a ventriloquist. I'm not surprised if she doesn't have her hand up his backside making him talk right now.
Okay,
Like,
disrespectful.
she's
You do
ridiculous,
not
and
call
she's
my
very
husband
aggressive.
a puppet.
And then
Thank you
she's
very
speaking
much.
about how I speak about her in the
All right,
podcast.
pipe down. I really want to understand this story. So you get married and you ask Mr. Rodriguez to be your...
I don't get married. Our friend Pete.
Let me explain this
Okay.
story, Your Honor. I'll tell you how it goes.
Thank you.
First of all, the way it goes is that I came to Mr. Carter in regards to planning a trip for one of our colleagues, Pete, which is he's getting married very soon, and I came to him because he's basically the guy to go to for planning events, and he's really good at it. Don't get me wrong. I give him credit for that, but we agreed on a trip to go to Turks and Caicos for some golfing over there, right? And instead we get this call or this notice saying that we are going to go to Brazil instead last minute. So that's the story, and he needs to stick to the story.
So you reached out to somebody. They planned a bachelor party for a friend, a mutual friend of both of yours.
Correct.
The original trip was to Turks and Caicos.
Correct.
And there was a fee associated with that.
Yes, there is some fees that he paid out of his pocket for that I agreed to pay back.
And I have the proof right here, Your Honor.
I'd like to see that proof. So he said, we're going to go to Turks and Caicos. I'll pay for it. You pay me back.
Exactly.
And you said, okay.
I said okay.
And so and there it was.
We said okay, and there it was, exactly.
To the initial
All right, so
trip.
did you say okay, or did you both say
Right.
okay?
She said okay because she's the ventriloquist guru, not the
I
relationship
said
guru.
okay because I'm his pregnant wife, and I said
literally
okay,
can't.
it's fine
But
that you
she's
go
his
to
pregnant
Turks and
wife, but when we went to
Caicos.
Turks and Caicos, it would be fine. But now it's Brazil. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. Oh my God, the ventriloquist is tweaking out because she's pregnant because he's going to Brazil now instead of
Okay,
Turks and Caicos.
let's be respectful. We want to be respectful
Thank
in the
you,
courtroom,
Your
and we
Honor.
want to be respectful to women. I see this receipt here. You did spend the money to go on the trip. So why did your mind change, or what happened that you decided you weren't going to be able to go after all?
First, sorry to interrupt, Your Honor, but first of all, the reason why I just feel like this is just wrong to begin with, because we both agreed to go to Turks and Caicos for some golfing.
Nobody asked her to go anywhere.
Coming up,
Her husband said she could text back. You text back a joke to
Yes.
kind of indicate really what it meant was, I don't want my husband going to Brazil.
we're back with the case of Gary Carter, who brought Cynthia and Luis Rodriguez to court over a skipped bachelor party.
Did you tell Mr. Carter that you needed to check with your wife, or did you just agree right off the bat, I'm going?
I checked with my wife first of all, because I want to make sure we're both on the same page.
So when it was Turks and Caicos, you checked with her?
Yes.
Yes.
And what did you say, ma'am?
And I said Turks and Caicos was fine, but the moment that it changed to Brazil, that's when I responded in their group chat, and I said that he was not.
Oh, you in the group chat with the
I
guys?
entered the
No,
group
she's
chat
not
on
in the
behalf
group
of
chat.
my husband.
Oh,
She
through
took
his
his phone.
phone.
Yes, through his phone.
Okay,
Which I
you-
got permission to do.
All right,
And
so
I-
you asked to do that?
Yes.
I was about to say, you were on team too much, but if he says yes, okay.
And the rule from the gate, bro, when we got the group chat was no wives or girlfriends allowed.
Okay, you're saying that as a
So
single
you're
man.
violating.
Rick, okay,
Nobody's talking to you. I was literally talking to him.
Let's get
You need to
some
stop
order.
talking to me because
All right,
nobody's even
Mr.
talking to
Carter,
you.
Mr. Carter, I want to understand, Mr. Rodriguez, when the trip changed to Brazil, what was your response?
My response was...
I responded.
She responded because I didn't get the text message. She's seen the text message that was sent to me by him.
And then what'd she say? I want to respond back because this is a different place?
Yeah, I basically said a little joke in the beginning, and I said my husband wasn't handsome enough or wasn't rich enough to cheat on me while going to Brazil. He's not gonna celebrate. He'll celebrate when you guys get back. I don't understand why that's not crystal clear that my husband is not going. I made a little joke out of it just because I was in your guys' boy group or whatever it
Well,
was.
regardless, your husband said you could text back on it, so your issue
Thank
shouldn't
you.
be with her. It should be with him. Her husband said she could text back. You text back a joke to
Yes.
kind of indicate really what it meant was, I don't want my husband going to Brazil.
Hell no.
Okay, that's
Thank
what I
you.
thought. All right. You wanted to get her approval as to whether you should go. It was a mutual decision between you and your wife. When it went to Brazil, she wasn't comfortable. And so how did you notify them besides your wife's text that,
That's
hey
it.
guys, I'm not going to be able to go?
That's it.
That was it.
And we haven't heard from him since, other than the cease and desist letter.
All right. Now, so you guys end up going.
Yes.
How many of you end up going?
It was just me and Pete, after all. Adrian dropped out as well. But Adrian,
See, why isn't Adrian here?
because
on
Adrian
this
is
case as well?
a man that doesn't have a ventriloquist guru up his backside.
No,
I
you're
don't
just a
understand.
man that
it's
owes
clearly
you money
something
too.
more.
No,
Hold on,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Carter.
He
I do
actually-
want to understand, if there was another person that dropped off, why aren't you...
Because me and him have been in communication. Sorry for cutting you off. But me and him have been in communication. He agreed to pay me through Cash App.
And I spoke to him upon him getting back from Brazil.
Only thing he said to me
he's
when
still going to pay for the trip, even though he dropped out and
Yes,
didn't go.
he's communicating with me. He's been a man.
How much money did you spend in advance?
$6,000 in total.
in advance of the trip.
In advance, I spent $6,000 to book the trip. Before we planned to leave, I told everybody how much it was going to cost. It came up to $6,000, and I swiped the card.
You swiped the card after you decided on Turks and Caicos.
No, Your Honor.
When did you swipe the card?
I swiped the card right before I was about to swipe the card for Turks and Caicos. I got the information that it was going to be rainy season. It was going to be like monsoons or hurricanes, something. It's going to be really wet, and we can't play golf there. So before I swiped the card, I reached out to them and let them know, not her, but the other guys in the group. I reached out to them and let them know, hey, we're going to have to switch up. And hey, one of my friends in Brazil has a rental that they were not going to be using anymore. So they said, we could use it. I told everybody.
Stop. So no charges have been incurred at this moment.
When I reached out to them to let them know the changes of the plans, nothing was swiped yet.
And when you got that message, that's when your text came back saying, my husband isn't handsome enough or rich enough to be down there partying with you all. He's not going to go. And hold on. And then, Mr. Rodriguez, did you ever respond back? Was it clear at that point in time he was not going?
No.
How is it not clear? My husband is not going. He'll celebrate with you guys when you guys get back. I don't understand how that isn't crystal clear.
Yeah, how could it get any clearer?
Stop talking.
Thank you. Thank you.
So basically,
Mr. Carter, just so you know, this is my courtroom and I run it. You don't. If at the point she responded, you had not incurred any charges yet, why would you then swipe the card after that?
That's where the miscommunication is coming in.
Miscommunicate or assumptions?
First of all, I'm speaking to her. She already corrected hers.
I'm asking Mr. Carter a question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir.
So basically, like I was saying, I sent them the information to let them know it was going to change. Everybody responded and said, cool.
I never saw that.
No, you didn't get a response from them that said cool.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I would assume being that we're all in agreement.
Thank you.
Assumptions.
And then you're talking again. Wow.
Excuse me. She's my wife. Keep your mouth.
I'm talking to both of you, bro. What's up?
Listen, Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter.
Okay.
Please. Look.
Make sure that mouth
Listen, Mr. Carter, pipe down. This isn't getting you anywhere.
Coming up.
Take me to the cease and desist letter. How did that come into play?
So basically, I found out he was slandering my name on a podcast, and I got upset because I do have a relationship business. I'm a relationship expert. So therefore, him talking smack about my husband and me on this podcast could be a risk to my business and my family.
Network featuring dynamic judges and live legal programming.
Well, we're not at your school. We're in my courtroom.
Unique court shows.
Where is any information about the company?
Live legal news.
That's what you should have done.
And a commitment to justice.
Either you tried or you did it.
The next generation of court programming in one dynamic network. Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. Stay tuned. You're watching Justice Central. You're watching We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Gary Carter, who brought Cynthia and Luis Rodriguez to court over a skipped bachelor party.
At the point that you switched the trip to Brazil, due to it being rainy season, I understand the reason. When you got the response back from Mrs. Rodriguez that he would have to see you when you all got back, had you or had you not paid for the trip?
I had paid for the trip before I got her response.
That is exactly the opposite testimony that you just testified to.
Thank you.
3 minutes ago. So which one was it?
I swiped the card after she sent the message.
So the point is, you wanted to disregard what the wife said because you really wanted him to go. So you just figured he would figure it out and work it out and pay you the money. And you went on.
Well, like she said, it was a joke, so I thought it was a joke.
All right, take me to the cease and desist letter. How did that come into play?
So basically, I found out he was slandering my name on a podcast, and I got upset because I do have a relationship business. I'm a relationship expert. So therefore, him talking smack about my husband and me on this podcast could be a risk to my business and my family. That's why I sent him the cease and desist letter.
What did you say on the podcast, Mr. Carter?
All the thing I said on the podcast was that I have a buddy. I have plenty of buddies that's married. I have plenty of buddies that are married. So I never said her name, first of all.
With a relationship.
She's talking to me, not you. Oh my God.
Ms. Rodriguez, let him finish. Let him finish.
Yo, control your woman, bro, like how she controls you.
Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter.
Coming up.
I need to know what you said on the podcast.
So the only thing I did is I went on and I said I have a buddy that is married to a love guru. And I said more like a ventriloquist guru.
We're back with the case of Gary Carter, who brought Cynthia and Luis Rodriguez to court over a skipped bachelor party.
Tell me what I asked you. I need to know what you said on the podcast.
So the only thing I did is I went on and I said I have a buddy that is married to a love guru. And I said more like a ventriloquist guru.
Okay, so you're saying what you said 15 times in here.
Yes.
All right, and then what?
So that's really it. And I just said how she controls his relationship, controls their relationship, and she makes like decisions for him, everything. I know like in marriages it's supposed to be a group decision, but it's more like a her decision. And then I just
But how do you know that when Mr. Rodriguez is telling you and testifying in court that they talked about it, he was okay, and he told her to text back? Why does that sound like they did not confer?
It sounds like to me that it was her making the decision for him. That's why he wasn't man enough to get his Twitter fingers on the keyboard and text that he wasn't coming.
And so you decided to send a cease and desist letter.
Yes. I decided to send that letter because I feel like what he said on the podcast could go viral, could put my business at risk, and ultimately that's money for my family. I think it's okay that I told my husband no for this trip, considering I am pregnant. Like, you can see my belly.
And she's speaking of slander. You should hear what she says to the women that follow her.
I'm an
the love
advocate.
guru.
I'm an
she
advocate for
trashes
women.
men,
Thank you
and
very
she
much.
teaches women how to control men and how to persuade men, how to do everything. So you have no.
Let's get some order. Ms. Rodriguez's business is not on trial here, and I'm so happy because I don't want to hear about it.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns.
You really felt like you should have at least heard from your friend directly as it related to the trip, since he previously agreed. However, when you switch a location distinctively, right, from Turks and Caicos to Brazil, that needs yet another approval, which is why you sent the text out, right? And you needed that approval. You didn't get it from Mr. Rodriguez. At the end of the day, though, he doesn't owe you $1,500 because you were on notice that he was not going to be able to go before you paid for the trip. So whatever charges you incurred on that trip are yours. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And most importantly, I hope the bachelor, who's now married, is having a great marriage. This whole thing about cease and desist, this is a waste of time, Ms. Rodriguez. At the end of the day, if you're a business person, people are going to have a lot to say about you. You have not proven to me that you really had any damages from what he said. People are going to agree with your tactics. They're going to disagree with your tactics. And at the end of the day, it's up to you through your business acumen and the way that you operate to show that you are a reputable person in your trade. I hope your friendship survives, because this is just a terrible thing to lose your friendship over $1,500 in a bachelor party. You all can do better than that. You're grown men. You should be able to talk this out and let them do it on their own. Do you understand, Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. With that said, judgment for the defendant. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the co-defendants. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Bro, it's insane that our friendship is being damaged over this woman. I don't understand why you don't see that she's controlling you, bro.
At the end of the day, y'all ain't friends. Period. It's
At
over.
the end of the day,
That's
it's chopped.
That's,
It's
I'm
chopped.
done.
Please
I'm
follow
done.
me.